You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete. Intelligence system analytic computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You're listening to episode 79 of SITREP Radio, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of The Division. This week we get PTS news and what's been happening behind the scenes over at Massive with regards to the community team. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me are my co-hosts, Robert.
Hello.
And Luke. Welcome back, Luke.
Hello.
Are you feeling much better?
I'm tip-top, mate. Tip-top.
Everybody's sick at the minute. I don't know what's wrong with people. Rob's sick. You've been sick.
You're next, dude.
Disagree. That being the case, I hope you both and our listeners had an excellent week. Let's get on with some news.
State of the game.
Okay, so major news this week, which kind of came as a bit of a shock to everyone, I would guess, is the end of the PTS next Tuesday, October the 31st, in about 5 days' time. And yes, you will not be getting PTS 3 on console. RIP.
Boo. RIP.
I don't know what I think about this. Anybody want to take any thoughts on this? It feels like, being perfectly honest, we were going through like this awesome testing process. They disappeared for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and now it's just like, nope, we're done. Let's just push it out. And it's like, whoa, hold on a minute. What happened to like all the feedback and everything? Have they got everything they need? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, especially seeing as 1.8 is meant to be like the big drop of the year to bring, not necessarily bring players back, even though players will come back, but it's to sustain the community, give players what they wanted for the last 6 to 8 months, and they're just like, done. It's there, unless they think it's in the right place. I could be completely wrong, but I'm sure we're going to have some talking points over the next half hour or so. Could be less, if it's anything like last week's episode. Hey, Rob.
Yeah.
That being said, PTS feedback. So apparently they have been listening to feedback, and we're going to go over a few things that they did actually discuss in the State of the Game. First up, Row 2.0, which we very briefly discussed in last week's episode. I know Luke wasn't here, but this is obviously something we talk about not necessarily in private, but off the show. But it's a huge thing in the community, though. As far as we know from State of the Game at the minute, it's not going to change that much. Row 2.0, as it is, will pretty much stay as it is at the minute, which there's been a lot of complaints about, and I'm really surprised they're going to do that. And I wonder if that's down to timing, and they just have to push this update out now. They can't really do that many changes to it. I don't know what you guys think.
There's like someone upon high, Ubisoft has just gone, do it. A little bit. Maybe. I don't know.
Some things of note. What is it? The time to kill on PvP, because of the stamina changes, they are potentially going to look into adjusting, because at the minute, in PvP, players are just going to be tanky as hell, aren't they? Which I think that is a main thing that a lot of people or players of the Dark Zone or Last Stand or Skirmish have been voicing their concerns with, because even now at the minute, with so much skill haste in people's builds, people are difficult to kill. So with the increased stamina changes, it's going to be even worse. Luke, any thoughts, dude?
I don't know where to start, dude. I honestly don't. I can't understand some of the thought process that's gone on over this past 2 weeks. That they obviously Pet has apologised for them all being quote unquote secretive, etc. But something to me, it smacks of something up high has gone off, and they've just said, "Get it out, just get the update out, and we'll fix it later." I can't understand how they can be happy with the TTK after they were happy with the previous TTK, because it is wildly different. And basically Petter was in State of the Game today saying he might as well have said, look, we know you're not happy with it, but we're going to release it and we'll fix it later.
You literally saying that, it really does have me concerned. What kind of time they have to do anything on this game anymore, if I'm being perfectly honest, because it really seems as if they're like, we can't waste any more time with this update. We need to push it out and get on to something else, because obviously the teams are all working on the Division, need to be working on something else at some point. And it could be potentially other games that are lined up that they should be working on that need to have like a time, they've probably got set work in the future that they should be doing. And if, for example, Red Storm's potentially wasting too much time in a PTS, then they could just be like, just pull the plug, push it out there, and we'll get it in the next update. Which doesn't make any sense, because you're still wasting further time in the future to fix something that is potentially going to be broken. That makes no sense. And Rob, you know what it's like where we work. We have similar things like that, don't we?
Yeah.
Just fix it while you still can.
Maybe they're just running out of money. Maybe Ubisoft have given them a set amount of money and it's just running out.
Hemorrhaging.
Yeah.
But the only thing I will say with that is they must have known an approximate start and stop date. And then, I'm not blaming them, but to have a 2-week period where there's nothing, and then it's just like, yeah, next week is dropping, or 5 days is dropping, and especially like the last update, the last PTS phase before they disappear, there wasn't that much changed. I understand there's no patch notes for it, and they have reasons for it, but it's just like, nothing about certain things have been addressed at all. And one of them especially being Rogue 2.0. I don't think there's been any modifications to 2.0 apart from the checkpoint changes they made last week.
They slightly tweaked the time it takes to get your manhunt off at the station as well, haven't they? That's literally the last thing that needed changing.
Yeah, and then this week they're changing, the initial rogue timer. So obviously when you turn yourself rogue, it lasts for about 20 seconds and then you have to kill a player. Definitely
not changing it. They said they're going to look at it.
Yeah,
which is their standard response to most things.
Bearing in mind that the last PTS version is never the final one. It's never the final build. So they are going to do some tweaks after the PTS before they put out 1.8. So,
how long do we think it takes to get a build together? A week, maybe? And then send it for verification on PC, or probably less time than that. Because all I'm thinking is
depends how many things they have to debug.
Yeah, all I'm thinking is like the first thing that was mentioned is verification, and I'm just like, I'm not worried about how long it takes for them to put it out there. Like, just get it in the right place, even if it's not on PTS. Take all the feedback and adjust it. But it sounds like this is it, and like, I understand what you're saying, Rob, about what we're going to get as the final is not going to be what we saw in PTS 3, but it's worrying, to be honest, at the minute.
We've previously had conversations about how many PTS phases we thought we'd get, and not one of us said it'd be this short, did we?
Thing is, we normally have 3 weeks. They have done longer, but it's the fact there's not been that many adjustments, and there's been that many.
Sorry, there's just so much content in this one. It is the richest content drop we've had since launch, and they haven't done a PTS 4. All the other ones have had a PTS 4.
It's meant to be for example, Destiny's Taken King, revamping most of the majority of the content in the game, which it seems to be doing PvE side. But the one thing that does seem to be keeping this game alive, I don't know.
Thing is, we're not taking into consideration the cost of it, because obviously the PTS on PC is a lot cheaper to do. But if they brought out PTS 4 on PC without bringing out PTS 3 on console, people are going to kick up a stink. So,
do you care? Do you care if they bring out PTS?
I'm not on the console PTS, so no, I don't care.
Luke, you're on both.
I would happily forego any console PTS to make sure this game is better.
Yes,
I said that after the first console PTS, because the first console PTS was just a shit show of everybody running Striker in the DZ.
Yeah, but that's console players.
Well, this one's been a lot better, to be fair to Massive and the player base that got invited for it, but they basically got invited to test PTS 2. Most of the feedback has been ignored, and we didn't get PTS 3, and now they're going to put a final build together and push it out as quick as possible. So what the fuck was the point? Exactly.
I don't know. Anyway, we do have some news on builds that are going to be mucked around with potentially, or we have some news on them in general. Luke, I'll say over to you.
Well, mucked around in general is completely and utterly false. It's the ones that aren't going to change really that we need to talk about, isn't it? So classified strikers, a lot of people saying this is too weak. They're not fixing that. Classified nomad, a lot of people saying that's too strong. They're not fixing that. Classified predator's mark, way too strong. Not fixing that. Shield builds, way too weak. Not fixing that. So yes, strikers and nomad are intended to be your last resort solo builds. They will stay as they are. They're going to keep an eye on them. Predator's mark apparently is really almost perfect for PvE, but quote unquote can be very powerful in PvP. No shit. They're going to keep that the way it is. And any build that runs a shield that's not defense, suck it up and get on with it, because they want you to run a shield with defense and pretty much nothing else. So that's going to stay the way it is on the PTS as well.
I can kind of understand the defense build because it's a shield build. That's what the whole set was there intentionally for in the first place. It would be like Deadeye and you're using, I don't know, an SMG. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm not being pedantic. I can kind of understand that. Predators, though.
That thing is so broken, dude. So broken.
What was it? 250k bleed or something like that?
Yeah. And you can't cleanse it. I mean, hopefully that's something that gets fixed, but at the moment, it doesn't get cleansed with an immunizer. So,
Rob, what do you reckon? Do you think that they might get adjusted, any of these builds, before the PTS drop, before the actual update goes live? It's not PTS anymore, sorry.
No, I think they're going to leave it as is.
Because, I mean, there's no mention of what actually happened with Tacticians, is there? This week, because that got changed back so that you could actually use the turret again. There's no information on it. There's no explanation of the nerf to the classic Reclaimer.
They changed the revive time, right? Revive time.
That being the case, Westside Pier will be... There's been a lot of people complaining that they're walking through Westside Pier and basically every 2 seconds they're getting shot by enemies because they're spawning pretty quick. Rob, do you remember this happening?
Yeah, no, I found that fun.
Did it remind you... Did it remind you of, you know, when we first went walking around New York and you had all the hostiles everywhere, like the NPCs and that, and you had to move through the districts and that.
Yeah,
it reminded me of that.
I can imagine it being annoying after a while. Like if you're trying to get somewhere and you just constantly getting shot at. It's okay. It's probably going to get annoying, but
I was just going to say that last time I played on PTS, me and Spido did some resistance, and you come out of resistance and you're back into Westside Pier where all the enemies are spawning as soon as you kill another one. You can't fast travel anywhere. It's next to impossible to fast travel anywhere.
You just got to run.
Jeez it.
That being the case, something, I'm going to be completely honest, I cannot believe they're backtracking on GE event token rewards. Rob, do you want to tell us what they're doing, dude?
Yeah, they said they were going to... They adjusted the amount of tokens you get from the quick running missions on the PTS, but that's not going to go live. So basically, Amherst, Clear Sky, and Lexington are going to be the place to be in the next GE. which kind of sucks.
Oh, I'm just going to say now, I'm going to be running Hudson. Just going to say it now.
My name's Mike, and I want to be different.
Fuck it,
You
why not?
rebel, you.
That's what I ran last time. I expect everybody to run at the time before that, and I expect everyone's going to run at the time after that, because at the minute there's no reason to play the playlist unless they've buffed the tokens from it, and the fact they're putting these back
They
up.
might. Thing is, they've put these back, but they might like buff
I have hope.
the playlist shit ton, so you have no reason to go back to doing those.
I just can't believe the backtracking on it. And they were like, "Oh, we've had overwhelming feedback." I'm like, "Who?" Because I'm on Reddit, I'm on the forums. Maybe I've missed a lot of the stuff on the forums. I haven't seen anything about this. I don't know if it's on social media. I haven't heard anybody shouting about this on social media. Plus, maybe there's some kind of secret division forum that we don't know about.
We also know that the next club event is going to be the strike one. Which one's that?
Is that the one where you stand still, or the exploding one?
The exploding one.
Exploding one. Yeah, there we go. The global events accommodations are tied with the next DLC, so this isn't going to be out until 1.8 drops. So that's
the idea being that some of the masks and combinations that you get will be tied. They think might be tied to certain incursions because it's meant to be a free update 1.8 for everybody, not just people that have DLC. People are worried that combinations and the masks that include that content will basically lock them out of getting the masks and the commendations, if that makes sense. But to be fair, you're not going to be able to get a combination that's specifically tied to, I don't know, Dragon's Nest if you don't have the content. Do you know what I mean? If you go kill 100 enemies in Dragon's Nest, they're not going to give you that, are they? I can't imagine. At this point, I don't know, but I'm guessing they wouldn't.
I think from the way that Petter had worded it, was people were complaining that there was either something wrong on the PTS so that it looked like masks were tied to commendations that were tied to the DLC, or they just wrongly assumed that masks would be tied to commendations that were tied to DLC, which, Petter came out and said, no, you'll get your masks from easy stuff.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Obviously, PvP modifier is going to be potentially adjusted for time to kill, but we've got no testing of that. So at the minute, it could be anything, unless we've got some really awesome mathematician over there. But that worries me slightly because the maths always seems
a tiny little amount.
Yeah. Normalization in skirmish and last stand due to classifieds. Is it? I can't remember. Is it a case of there's no point running classifieds because you're not getting the full whack from them?
Yeah. Last time we'll take everything down to
1272.
1271.
Yeah, so there's no point actually running classifieds because you're not getting the extra damage. Well, I'm not saying there's no point, but it's not.
You still get the 6-piece bonuses, but
I know, but I'm quite surprised they haven't buffed that or just buffed everything up to 1400. But then I suppose that causes problems. And any news on resistance? Did that ever go interchangeable enemies with just everlasting waves in the end? I can't remember. I'm going to be perfectly honest.
I never got far enough to experience that. I'll admit that.
No worries. I'm sure we'll find out in a couple of weeks when we test it. In the live game?
I haven't played Resistance at all yet. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's good. I would say that. Yeah. It's fucking good. I didn't play Underground. I didn't get a chance to, but that's my fault. And finally, there's no special event. It was a miscommunication from Petter on stream the other week. So anyone getting hyped over the fact there might be a special Halloween event with, Halloween themed masks, unfortunately, you've already had it in the last GE, I would have said.
Yeah, pretty much.
They pretty much tied that last GE event into it, and the masks went really well alongside it. And finally, down to the absence of the community team. Apparently, everybody has been pretty busy with, Hamish has been over at, TwitchCon?
Yep.
They've been doing internal workshops, as we found out on the stream today. Quite interested with regards to the internal workshops, whether that's workshops for the community, do you know what I mean? Like, you have workshops to better your team, or if it's for the game or future game content, because obviously all these people that should be on the community live team also play the game, and they also, in theory, should know what the community want.
It's no workshop, just like a holiday sort of thing.
No, we'll put it this way. We know for a fact the ETF went through workshops like this when they were down in the ETF, and had huge discussions and things like that in the workshops about like the dark zone, road changes, underground, all that. So it hopefully it's a similar thing. But yeah, it was basically huge apologies on the stream for why they haven't been about. I think that's it.
I found it quite interesting that Amper Camper was in the room today, being American based, and he's popped up in Sweden. That's quite cool.
Yeah. That is definitely interesting, because it feels like they're trying to maybe get on the same page with their community team, because obviously Amper is a part of the community, even though he's in the States. And obviously with the news last week of a QA tester inbound for the Division, it seems, fingers crossed, there might be some future testing of the game, whether it's a sequel or next content update, possibly next year.
Did either of you apply?
No.
No.
I know a good friend of ours did, didn't he? Did Boris apply?
Yeah, he did.
I think he did.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Wow.
Good luck, Boris, if you did.
Did you ever get word back from Marco Style? Did he take up your offer? Or take up your challenge, rather?
No, I don't think he did. But
He's
if he did,
too much
let us know.
Sweet YouTube money.
I'm sure he can do both. Amper does both, doesn't he? I'm sure they'll let him stream at the same time.
All the time.
That being the case, that's pretty much it for news this week. Yeah, it's a bit of a downer with regards to, I think, still the road changes. I know everybody's going on about it in the community, but I think it just feels they've been so patient over the last couple of weeks. Now all of a sudden it's just like a rush to close it down and just get it out there. And I was just a little bit disappointed in that, to be honest. But we'll see.
Personally, I'm more deflated after this state of the game than I was after the quote unquote year 2 one. So I had a lot of discussions with Matt Goes Book and various other people on Twitter this afternoon, straight after state of the game, and a lot of the consensus is that 1.8 just isn't ready yet. And obviously the devs have got a lot more feedback than obviously we've got anywhere near of getting hold of, but it doesn't feel ready for how much stuff they're going to give us. It seems rushed, and that scares me, to be honest.
I would say the thing is, the problem we've got is they don't want to hold off on the global events, and the gear sets are tied to the global events. I know that's not an excuse. So they want to put the gear sets out there. They're talking about striker changes when it's already been tested in a previous PTS. Yeah, it's being modified again. So chances are that
I think the strikers is already out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's crazy that we're still testing that. It shouldn't still be tested. It either needs a buff or just leave it alone and move on to something else. I don't understand personally why we're still mucking around with it, but that's my opinion.
It's a very difficult thing for them to do, though, because all the classified stuff isn't out yet. So until it's all out, it's going to be very unbalanced anyway. That makes any sense.
And it's going to be tweaking it once everything's out, isn't it?
The amount of feedback they must have been given for Nomad and Predator's Mark, dude, and just to leave them alone. And you said it last week. You called the episode last week, Go Home Massive, you're drunk. They must have kept drinking for an entire week.
For
I'm
They must
so
have been thinking
ready
the
for
whole week
that.
that I've been off. Yeah, they've just been constantly on it for the 2 weeks that they've been silent. They're just absolutely shit-faced and just Predator's Mark is fine. Don't worry about it. Somebody get me a
is
beer.
that this week's title? Is it Massive You Shit Faced?
Yeah, if you like.
I'm joking.
I don't know.
I think all the major concern though is like so many people love this game, and look at how many people came back for stupidly just the last global event. So many people came back. You've got Reddit every day, which is it's a freaking salt hellhole if you go on there. But there's a lot of conversations on there. So there's new players coming to the game. There's old players coming back to the game. I saw it today. It was like 4 or 5 posts. 1.8's coming. I want to get back into the game.
Destiny players coming back to the Division.
Yeah, welcome back to the Division. If you've been playing Destiny and you said the game was dead, good luck there.
Oh, love it. It's all gone full circle.
But the stupid thing is, like, I see so many comments every freaking week with people just like, "Oh man, I've played this game for so many hours. I don't know what I'm doing. Why am I still playing this game?" But even us, what have we been doing?
We had some good times this week.
Yeah, and we've all been off playing like different games, and we've been playing like the Division and Side Time. Yeah, I'm back in the Dark Zone because it's, I don't know, fucking fun.
And
and
for the win.
Make the most of it, dude.
Dude, what was it?
I'm kind of like, don't put Rogue 2.0 out yet, please, because we're loving it.
Yeah, but that's our fault. We should have just fucking got back in there sooner. But that's our fault. But when we have stupid times like, what was it, DZ 4 and 5 up near the museum or the library, sorry, I'm thinking of something else, and freaking we're holding off 4 or 5 people as a 3-man team for about, what was it, half an hour, 45 minutes. Those are some of the best times in the game, and those are the reasons we keep going back, not times where we all go up to DZ9 and the whole server's up there and it's a freaking free-for-all. Which does have me slightly concerned about 2.0, and I'm hoping at some point we will sit down and discuss 2.0 potentially on a separate episode. I did say it last week, and we have got plans, but to be honest, I'm kind of in the mindset, is there any point? Because 2.0 is going to get put out there either way.
That night we had up in DZ9 where it was literally the entire server chicken dancing, waiting for somebody to go rogue. That's basically my experience of Rogue 2.0 on the PTS, dude. It's just waiting for some idiot to hold up long enough to go rogue, and then it's 20 versus 4.
But we had that before 1.7, didn't we?
Yeah, but not to the same extent.
No.
I don't know. I'll shut up.
No, it's, at the end of the day, I want you guys to be honest as you can. And, we try and keep a happy medium here compared to everybody else, because being honest, like, we don't hate on the game, and maybe we're apologetic for it sometimes. I don't know.
I hated on it a little bit this week.
Yeah, but I feel like it is a little bit for good reason. I mean, they're putting out an update that I'm seeing everywhere, and people aren't happy with the rogue changes, and I know there's a lot of arguments out there, but Rob, would you agree with some of the arguments that have been put out there this week about the rogue update?
Yeah, I would.
After, especially after going back and playing, every time we've gone, it's like, dude, we're rogue, and it's not ganking players or anything like that. I think there's very slight changes that could be made to make 2.0 a convenient mechanic for both rogue and non-rogue players.
I know what you mean. The fundamentals are there. It's really good fun.
Yeah.
I just hope they haven't changed too much about it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if we ever actually sit down and record it, we'll let you guys know, because I'm sure you'll hear it at some point.
So, what have you guys been playing otherwise this week?
Division. Crazily, I've been playing Division. Luke, what did we do last night, dude?
Survival, PS4.
We had a fucking good run.
How far did you get?
Finished it.
Nice.
What was it? 4 survival caches each. Pretty much all gold
5.
builds. Oh, you got 5 out, did you? Nice. What was it? 8 players, including us two. I killed 2, and 4 died to NPCs, cold whatever. Nice extraction.
Nice.
Best part of 20k score, isn't it? We just need to go in and get a little bit of extra score just to get the weekly cash for that. And jobs of fish, another exotic ready for 1.8.
Yeah, those freaking hunters went down like 2 shots to the head.
Yeah.
So freaking easy. But we had 10 minutes left? 15 minutes left? I'm like, fuck, let's get another what's it called? Landmark.
Yeah.
It's like, because I didn't want you to run out of time or myself to run out of time. It's like, well, maybe we could do one more. I think we ended up doing 7 landmarks while we were in there. And it was good fun.
It was more than that.
Was it?
Yeah, we must have done, if we got like 9 survival caches between us, that's 9 landmarks just there.
Well, I know you came out with 91 NPC kills and I had about 90, and that's a lot of freaking kills. So that's probably a lot more than I normally do because I normally just head down to the side routes and try and run past all the freaking NPCs and that.
But you said it yourself, as soon as the chopper landed, you're like, 2 people is the magic number for survival PvP, isn't it? Because it's just, you can clear the landmarks so much faster when the aggro split between the 2 of you.
It's a lot easier to basically share loot out as well.
Yeah.
Loot, meds and all that.
Yeah, medicines for days, wouldn't it?
I still stand by the fact that if you can make it in maybe the first 10, 20 minutes of survival, you're pretty much set for the game unless you get absolutely fucked over in a solo session. But that's just my bad luck, I guess. That being the case, Robert, what have you been up to this week, dude?
We played Division towards the beginning of the week, and then come Tuesday, the PC version of Destiny came out, so I've been playing that. It's awesome. That's all I have to say about that.
I know you're in Wizard's Clan for Destiny.
I managed to get into Wizard's Clan, which is pretty sweet.
Congratulations, dude. Is this your resignation from the other clan on PS4?
No, not for shit, no. we attempted the Prestige raid again last night. Didn't do it. Getting a bit pissed off with it, to be honest.
See, I'm going to be honest. My raid team wanted me to do it on Tuesday, and I'm really at the point where I do not want to waste 4 hours trying to do something that, no offense, Rob does every week, if not 3 times a week. And I'm like, this feels like a complete waste of time. But that's me, personally. At the minute, that's my enthusiasm for the game, but I understand a lot of people out there are enjoying it, so best of luck to you. And if you are playing on PC, definitely head over to In Orbit Podcast and go check them out, because I'm sure they'll be talking about that as well.
And add me, because I have no friends on PC. I'm SITREP Rob on Blizzard and Blizzard app. Please,
also, if you're
I have no friends.
If you're a doctor and want to make friends with Rob, that would be great, because he might need a sick note for this week as well.
No, I don't.
That being the case, that's going to be the show for this week. Robert, where can listeners find us?
You can find us at SITREP Radio on Twitter and on Facebook. Tweet us with the hashtag Team SITREP, as we're all affiliated with that hashtag. If you have any questions or feedback for the show, please send us an email to sitrepRadiopod@gmail.com. Over to you, Luke.
I just want to jump in there very quickly and just say, if anyone does have any questions with regards to Division or even Destiny, if you're playing through Destiny at the minute, hit Rob up on Twitter at SITREP Radio Rob. We're also on Discord as well, which I'm sure you'll hear about in a minute. But we have a Destiny chat in there, so you just message Rob at SITREP Rob, and he will help you out with anything you need.
Thanks for that.
I listened back to episode 78, the one where Luke was sick. Did you get the 30 questions that Rob requested?
I forgot about
that. I must admit, I haven't had a chance to check.
Rob was like, we've got any questions from listeners? No, not one. Damn it, I'm calling you all out. I want 30 next week.
So do you want double or nothing next week, Rob?
Yeah, I want 60 questions. I'll read every single one of them.
Oh, brilliant.
Word for word.
Okay, there's a challenge. And I want them posted on Twitter at SITREP Radio.
I'm not necessarily going to answer every question, but I will read them.
It'd just be yes. No. Maybe. Sometimes.
Jello. Why Jello? I don't know.
You can find more quality episodes of SITREP Radio on any of the following platforms: iTunes.
What, like last week's?
Yeah, just like last week's. That's on iTunes.
For fuck's sake.
May I continue, Michael?
Press start to continue.
Beep. Following platforms: iTunes, Apple Podcasts for iOS, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Overcast for iOS, Stitcher, Player.fm, Pocket Casts, RSS feeds, Podbean, and please rate, review, and subscribe whilst you're there. I'd also like to take this moment, shut up, Mike, to say thank you to Matt Goes Book and all the rest of the squad over at Loot and Shoot Inc. over on Twitter. We're now a part of that little collective. So, yeah, hit us up on Twitter at Loot and Shoot Inc. Yes, Mike? I can see you wanting to interrupt me again.
No, I was just holding my arm up.
Liar!
Every time at the end of the show, you freaking like, oh, what do you want? Nothing.
Asshole.
Just having a stretch.
I shut you down, bitch. That being the case, while you're out on the socials, make sure to check out Mash Those Buttons over on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Go check out some of the other awesome podcasts that are a part of the Mash Those Buttons family. I know Jarrett is running Prepare to Attack, which is a huge Overwatch podcast that he's delving into at the minute, where he basically goes and talks to some of the best players in the Overwatch community and basically gets hints, tips, and tricks from them so you can learn to be better Overwatch players, and it's definitely worth a listen. I will be listening to it myself because I fucking love Overwatch as well as this game and other games. That being the case, Robert?
Yeah, don't forget that we also do the episodes on YouTube. Leave a comment and subscribe. That would be awesome if you do watch them. If you want to help support us and the show, share it with your friends and your mum.
Welcome all the mums.
Yeah, and your next door neighbour, Barry.
Yeah, if your next door neighbour is called Barry, then well done.
That being the case, thanks for listening to this awesome podcast.
And if he's Scottish,
We will
give him a high
catch you.
five.
Apparently we'll catch you in Scotland. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.